Hey guys, just wanted to jump on and do a bit of a off the cuff response to JohnK Techhead's video. He posted it up yesterday. Um, yeah, he was just sort of saying that because he owns and works in a record store, he feels like when he gets home to listen to records, he can't appreciate them as much or doesn't feel like listening to them or has sort of fallen out of love with his records. And I thought it was a really interesting and a refreshing video to watch. I sometimes have feelings about records. I often have feelings about records, especially recently, that I feel like I don't need them, or I feel like I don't need anywhere near as many as of what I have. And that's mainly because I have probably 15 to 20% of my collection here, and the rest up in Auckland storage, which I don't really see or touch, or I've almost forgotten what's in there. I'm sure I have amazing things, but I feel like if I'm happy with what I got here, if I've got 200 records here that keep me busy and I can listen to and feel I can get into, why do I need the extra 500 up there? Do I really need that many records? I don't know. I mean, it's a nice idea to be free of your records, and I saw Richard Lee on the Facebook page got rid of all his records. Would I ever get rid of my records? No, but do I really need that many? I mean, 700 isn't even a big collection, but I don't know. It just seems crazy sometimes. I go through phases where I think about this a lot. Um, but then again, they're not really doing me any harm just sitting there in my room or my space. But then there's stuff like I'm seriously thinking about. I've been wanting to get an upgrade on the tone arm for a while, and I just haven't got around to getting the money together to buying one. I'm sure I could sell some records easily and make the money up for it. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit here. Yeah, like stuff like I have that bloody manual Goshing original German pressing. I can sell that on Discogs for $600 and buy the reissue for $30, and that's half of my tone arm already, just like that. Like, why am I keeping that? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. So what I was trying to say is, I kind of get what you mean. If anyone doesn't know, I'm actually doing freelance design work based from home. So I've sort of got a home office upstairs, and my records are downstairs here. And I initially tried working down here and playing records for a while I was working, and it just didn't feel right. There was something about it. I guess because I was doing work while I was listening to music. And I just find like I wasn't enjoying listening to records as much because I had to deal with work and deal with emails, and I couldn't absorb them. So I stopped doing that, and I listen to music upstairs just through Spotify, and that's fine. But putting on a record while working, I just didn't like it, and it just didn't feel right. I felt like I was just not doing a service to my collection. Um, so I stopped doing that, and only listening to records in the evening and putting them on while I'm doing the dishes or dinner or something like that, and just giving them the time. And then I started to really get back into listening to them and appreciate them, and it felt right. I don't know how to describe that. It was just bad mixing work and pleasure. So I know exactly what you mean. I mean, you're mixing work and pleasure, but it's with the same, records and records, which must be really tough. Um, Maybe you could try like listening to music in a different way. Maybe try listening to them through headphones or something like that. Maybe that'll help you get back into the rhythm of it. I noticed you also mentioned that you're buying records and you're still buying lots of records, but the moment you get them home, you're not enjoying them. Um, so you need to stop buying records, John. I have cut down my records so much since I've been here. I reckon I've maybe bought like maybe 2 or 3 records a month, if that, and I feel like I can appreciate them a lot more. Um, yeah, I really sort of bought into the hype of the VC, even maybe a year or two ago, especially, yeah, getting into a lot of free jazz and stuff, and a lot of it's really good records, but I've bought into a lot of, I have to get this because it's the best of this, or I have to get that, or, this is the best. Reissue labels are a massive culprit. This is the best. I'm playing this as an example. This is the best, Swedish psych record ever. Essential reissue, limited pressing. Fill the gap in your collection. Yeah, have this. All about Swedish psych. Like fuck. You know what? This record isn't even that great. Like I reckon the first LP is really below par. I've heard of there's much better, in my opinion, Swedish psych records out there. The second side is really good, but the first side isn't that great. You know, but the hype sticker on this thing, I wonder if I've still kept the hype sticker, but I bet you it's some bombastic over the top thing. I just think maybe I didn't keep it. You don't believe the hype. You know, like it's so easy to start going down a rabbit hole of picking up every reissue of some. You know, every month these days it seems like there's an uncovered gem of lost Japanese music or something like that. You know, like how many of these can there be? I don't know. Like when I first started really getting into um, these obscure, weird reissues and stuff, you know, I was lapping them up. Yes, I've got to get this. This thing is essential. If I get this, I know all about it. You know, doesn't really. I don't know. I just feel like marketing is marketing. A lot of things are very overhyped. Even stuff like I got most of the Popo Vu reissues. You know, like I got these two. They're in the second run of them. Are they essential? Not really. They're pretty good. Like, do I need them both? No, I don't know. Like, hype. Hype. This is just me thinking out loud. I don't know. I just feel like if you're buying them to keep up the VC or to feel like you know, are part of your own. But you know, it's just easy to pick up. Like I was at the point where I was just watching videos and I was just picking up what people were showing me, and you know, I was just doing that. I was just basically regurgitating what was being shown to me, and you know, it was cool to get all the stuff, and I. This is turning into a bit of a ramble, isn't it? I could go into record stores in Melbourne and see stuff that's been shown, pick it off the wall and get it, and it's cool to get those records, but it wasn't 100% satisfying. I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. I feel like I'm now a bit more on my own path. I feel like really getting to New Zealand music sort of pulled me away from that sort of cycle of picking up, you know, cool reissues and stuff, um, and finding my own way a little bit. I don't know how to describe it, and that's when I really started to, you know, love what I'm picking up and taking risks on and stuff like that. Uh, the VC is a great place, but it's also a very dangerous place. Um, it's just yeah, I don't know. The people I really like watching are people who show new and interesting stuff, not stuff that's been shown. And I'm guilty of just recycling stuff too. You know, I'll buy stuff that Fred and Anthony and Teddy and whoever else is showing and just re-show it off to other people. But I'm not a tastemaker. Those guys are tastemakers. I'm just a regurgitator. I don't know. Anyway, so to try and shorten it down, just don't believe the hype. Don't buy stuff for the sake of it. Um, don't buy stuff to make videos to show them off. Maybe that sounds a bit harsh. I wasn't talking specifically to you, John, but I just feel like it's easy just to stay on this train of just picking up reissues all the time, constantly. And if you're not enjoying it, if you're not discovering it yourself, it doesn't always feel as great, you know? I don't know. Yeah, so that whole thing may have sounded pretty harsh, but that was more of a general comment on the nature of buying records and reissues these days. Um, it's easy just to become, you know, someone that just goes like this, and there's no love in that. It's obviously a really tough one for you, I guess. I think if you have records and you're not loving the whole process, try selling a few and maybe putting them in your store. And if you can bear the thought of them not being in your collection anymore, then you don't need them. You don't love them. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was a really interesting thought, and it's nice to see someone talking about how they feel about having their records or too many records in the VC. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully, I sort of got some sort of vague point across. I don't know. Anyway, check out John's channel. Amazing. He always shows stuff I've never heard of, and he's definitely in his own bubble of the VC, showing really cool jazz and funk and stuff like that. And yeah. Anyway, that was it. Off the cuff, bit of a ramble. See you soon.